It was one of those hot summer days in late July when the sun felt like it was pressing down on everything, turning every inch of air into a thick, suffocating blanket. I was working from home that afternoon, typing away at my laptop, trying to solve some server issues that had been giving me trouble all morning. My name's John Bennett, by the way. I've lived in Willow Creek, a quiet suburban neighborhood, for over a decade. Most of the time, it's peaceful here. My 14-year-old son, Tim, and I have made this house our home since his mom passed 5 years ago. But what happened next? That's a whole different story. It all started when my doorbell rang. Not the usual friendly chime, but that obnoxious, nonstop buzzing that felt like it was trying to break through my skull. I checked the security camera. Standing at my door was a girl I didn't recognize, probably in her late teens. She had on this ridiculously bright pink top and a short skirt, holding her phone like it was the most important thing in the world. She was tapping her foot impatiently, eyes glued to her screen. She wasn't just standing there for a casual chat. She was demanding something. When I opened the door, she didn't even bother with a greeting. She just launched into it like she'd been rehearsing it for hours. "Hi, I'm Kate Peterson. I'm with the Willow Creek HOA Youth Group. I need your Wi-Fi password for my TikTok videos." She didn't even sound embarrassed. "It's for a community project," she added, flashing her phone screen at me, showing some dance routine she was halfway through. "I'm losing followers, and our internet's down today. Can you just give me the password?" It's a small thing to ask. I stared at her, trying to process what I just heard. Did she just ask for my Wi-Fi password like it was some kind of casual favor? I couldn't believe it. "Wait, hold up. You want my password? For TikTok?" I repeated, just to make sure I wasn't hearing things. She gave me a look like I was the crazy one. "Yeah, your Wi-Fi is the strongest on this block," she said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. "Come on, I've got followers waiting. My video is already late." There it was, the entitled tone that's all too familiar in this neighborhood. The kind of attitude that says, "I'm better than you, and your rules don't apply to me." I took a deep breath, trying to keep my voice steady. "Look, I don't know you. I'm not giving out my private Wi-Fi password to a complete stranger. That's just basic security, lady." Her face twisted into something ugly. "You don't know who my father is, do you? Robert Peterson, the HOA president. He's also the county commissioner. If you don't do this for me, he'll make sure you regret it. I can't believe you're being so difficult over something so small." It hit me then. The Petersons. I'd heard the name tossed around a lot in the grocery store and at neighborhood parties. Robert Peterson was the kind of guy who tried to push ridiculous HOA policies that made no sense. He was the one always complaining about the neighborhood standards and trying to make everyone conform to his idea of the perfect suburban family. And now, here was his daughter trying to take advantage of that power. I didn't let her see how angry I was. "I'm not giving you my password, Kate. Period. If you need Wi-Fi, maybe try asking your neighbors nicely, instead of demanding it." That's when she took a step closer. I could smell her expensive perfume, the kind you only find in high-end department stores, mixed with the scent of teenage entitlement. "You're making a huge mistake," she said, narrowing her eyes at me. Then she glanced at my mailbox, her voice dropping to a sneer. "This community has standards, and people who don't fit in find themselves moving out." That was it. I could feel the weight of her words hanging in the air, like a direct threat. The sideways glances from the other neighbors, the unspoken words at every HOA meeting. It all clicked. I'd been dealing with this for years: the subtle racism, the judgmental stares, the complaints about things like the size of my lawn or the basketball hoop in my driveway that was just a little too tall. But this time, it wasn't just a whisper behind my back. It was a blatant attack. I shut the door in her face, but not before hearing her shout, "This isn't over. You'll regret this, Bennett." And just like that, she stormed off. But I wasn't done. I saved the footage from my security camera. Something told me I was going to need it. That night, as I sat down to help Tim with his algebra, my phone buzzed. It was a text from an unknown number. Last chance to be reasonable. Wi-Fi password or there will be consequences. Your choice. I showed it to Tim. His face went pale when he saw the name attached to the number. Dad, that's Kate. She's the girl who bullies kids at school. She hangs around the middle school, making everyone's life hell. The more I thought about it, the more I realized how far Kate and her family were willing to go to get their way. I didn't know what their next move would be, but I wasn't going to sit back and let them push me around. I took action. That night, I upgraded my home security, changed all my passwords, and installed a few extra cameras. If this was going to escalate, I wanted to be ready. 3 days later, it happened. I came home from work to find my front door ajar. My heart sank when I walked inside. My router, modem hell, even my backup equipment was gone. The security system had been disabled, and there were marks around the lock that showed it had been picked, not broken. I called the police immediately. Officer Heather Collins was there within 20 minutes. I showed her the footage from my cameras, and there, clear as day, was Kate. She was wearing gloves and using lockpicks to break into my house. It was well-coordinated, professional, even. She wasn't some teenage prankster. This was planned. And she didn't stop there. She destroyed my equipment, even smashing my DU-Law 400 router with a hammer. She filmed herself doing it, all while laughing. "You don't respect my family, Bennett," I heard her say in the footage. "This is what happens." Officer Collins was as shocked as I was. This isn't just vandalism. This is a crime. A serious one. And it didn't stop with Kate. 2 hours after the break-in, Robert Peterson himself showed up at the police station not with a lawyer, but with a briefcase full of cash. He tried to bribe me into dropping the charges. He opened the briefcase, revealing stacks of DU-Law 100 bills. "5,000 should cover your damages," he said. "All I need is for you to forget about this. You know, let's not make this bigger than it needs to be." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So, you think you can just buy your way out of your daughter's crimes?" His smile never reached his eyes. "Think of it as an investment, Bennett. I could make things very difficult for you. HOA violations, fines, inspections, all sorts of little problems. But we can avoid all that if you just cooperate." I wasn't HVYing it. "Keep your money, Robert. Your daughter is going to pay for what she did." That's when the real fight started. Kate's antics got worse. She went around school spreading rumors about us, telling kids that Tim's family was criminal. But she didn't stop there. She started targeting other families in the neighborhood, posting online about how people didn't belong in nice neighborhoods like Willow Creek. The racist slurs, the threats, the intimidation. It all came pouring out, and soon, it wasn't just a personal vendetta. It was a full-on attack on everyone who didn't fit into their perfect, narrow VYEW of what this community should look like. But what Kate didn't count on was the fact that her actions had consequences. And this time, the community wasn't backing down. One night, everything came to a head. During a neighborhood HOA meeting, Kate showed up drunk, ranting about how outsiders were ruining Willow Creek. She targeted my family, calling us criminals and welfare cheats. She recorded it all for her followers. That's when I knew it was over. Kate's VY Deo went VY Ral. But what she didn't know was that the feds had been watching. Her rants, her illegal active VY tie, and the EVY Denke from my security footage were enough to bring her entire operation down. The FBI swooped in, and within days, Robert Peterson was arrested, followed by his entire network. Kate was taken into custody too. But even as she was being hauled off to prison, she still refused to see what she had done wrong. Her final words before being led away: "You can't silence the truth. I was just trying to save this neighborhood." The real truth, though, was that Kate Peterson's actions had exposed a much bigger conspiracy, a network of harassment, surveillance, and domestic terrorism that spanned multiple states. Her final meltdown had sealed her fate and the fate of her entire family. And that's how a simple request for Wi-Fi spiraled into one of the most intense legal battles I'd ever fought. It wasn't just about my privacy or my property, it was about standing up against a system of hate that had been allowed to fester unchecked for too long. But here's the real kicker. Kate never realized just how much she'd underestimated the people she thought she could push around. She thought she was untouchable, but in the end, she was the one who got caught in her own web of lies. And as for me and Tim, we're still here, stronger than ever. Willow Creek might be different now, but it's better. And I'll never forget how, in the end, justice prevailed. What do you think, folks? Should the Petersons have gotten away with it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to share this video. We need more people to see that when you mess with the wrong family, the truth always comes out.